talking more so about acid reflux. I've been dealing with acid reflux lately, We got any stoners in here tonight? Okay. Okay. What about dummy users? Dummy users? Okay, Turbulence Time had to learn a hard lesson about dummies. I had to learn a hard lesson. See, no one explained to me that the ratio of how many you use can cause problems. You see what I'm saying? So unfortunately, I took 4 of them in a row.
Oh no.
I know. The reason why I took so many is because when I took the first few, it didn't seem like nothing was happening to me. Nothing was happening. So what I did was I rolled a fat joint, smoked that, still nothing was happening. Then I even drank some THC juice. Nothing happened. But when I took that 4th gummy, all hell broke loose. Armageddon began, ladies and gentlemen. The wave, the undescribable wave that came over my body. I ended up breaking my nose, ladies and gentlemen. But due to the fact that I was inebriated beyond me, I couldn't feel anything. Can you imagine laying face down on the kitchen floor with trash all around you, crying out to God for help, but no one shows up? Everybody's just walking around like everything is casual. I ended up asking for some water. I don't know why I did that. I took the water, just poured it over my head. And I kept saying, Noah's Ark. Noah's Ark. I don't know where that was coming from. So I asked God, if He let me live through this tragic experience, I would never do gummies again, and you see me on stage. Let's give it up for that. Let's give it up for that. So Black History Month is the best month of the year. Yes. I don't like how it's the shortest month of the year, though, because slavery was 365 days. So I'm wondering, why did we get the shortest month, the coldest month? A lot of ruthless things happen in February. Let me explain. The other day I was at a store called Meijer's. Meijer's on Kalamazoo Street. And a Caucasian woman had left her purse in her cart. Me being the Good Samaritan thinking, okay, this is Black History Month. I will return her purse to her and all good will be from that experience. No, that's not what happened. I'm trying to reach her and say, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me. She starts running from me. She says, I don't have anything you want. I don't sell drugs. I don't take drugs. I don't have EBT. I don't get nothing. I said, no, ma'am, it's about your purse. She says, oh my gosh, she's trying to rob me.
Oh my goodness.
Security comes. I'm like, sir, stop. I'm just trying to give her back her purse. He was like, you took her purse. No, sir, she left the purse in the car. She was so adamant about getting away from me that she left the purse, ladies and gentlemen. So what did I do? I had to get retribution from the experience. You see what I'm saying? So I took whatever she had in there and bought me some Big B coffee. And I enjoyed me some Panera bread at her expense. It was the best Panera bread I ever had in my life. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I feel like this though. God knew not to make me be a slave. He knew that turbulence wouldn't be no good during that time of year, during that time period. Because see, I would have been stealing the cotton from the plantation. Let me explain why. After having a lot of kids and stuff, when you're picking cotton and stuff, you can't afford breast implants, you can't afford lifts and all that. So I would have been stealing that cotton stuff in my bra. I would have been advertising myself so I can become a house nigga. Y'all know what a house nigga is? Baby, they wouldn't have kept somebody like me outside. I would have been in the house trying to figure out what those sheets feel like. Look, I would have did anything I could just to get a taste of that chicken. See, white people are so nice to us. They let us taste what the chicken was like during like holidays and stuff. So that's when black people began to steal the chicken. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's one of our favorite foods now. That's why we have so many chicken restaurants, you know, the hot sauce and all the greedy things that come with it. I would have been in the house eating roast though. See, my master would have been giving me the best of the best. Because I would have been snitching on all the niggas that was outside. Master, oh boy over there, he done stole your chicken, sir. He done took it now. Come on and get him. Look, as soon as his ass would have tried to run away, we would have got the lasso out. Baby, I would have let Lassie out in a heartbeat to go and get this nigga. Listen, y'all, I love the fact that diversity is real, though. I love diversity. Don't mistake it. I just took a genealogy test recently. Has anyone else in here ever did that? Yeah. You know, one of the little genealogy tests to kind of see what your background consists of. And I got my results back and it was 95% European. Let me repeat that. It was 95% European. See, my last name is Paul, like Paul Bunyan, P-A-U-L, not by choice. My grandmother was out there, you know, taking care of the fields and doing what she was doing, and she ended up having a monster, and that's where I come from. You see what I'm saying? 95% European. I said to myself, it all makes sense now of why my voice sounds the way it sounds, why I want to be just like how the white people are, so generous and kind and giving and loving, vacations and all. I deserve all of that. Because you know what? If I would have been picking cotton, I guess I would have been doing comedy, and that's what I'm doing right now. So, it compensates for something, right? Does anybody here have children, though? Okay, wait a minute, stop. I need you to clap like you like the fact that you have children. Because right now, I was going to be nutty out there, kids. Damn it, don't claim me. Don't claim me on your taxes, but you can't claim me in public when I ask about, do you like having children, right? I have children, but I also have a grandson. He's 5 years old. His name is Alejandro. That means he's mixed, you guys, with Mexican and black. Give it up for that. Give it up for that. I love my grandson. My grandson is not the problem. It's his damn mother. She's teaching my grandson to disrespect me intentionally in Spanish. So when he sees me, he doesn't call me granny, nana, abuela. When he sees me, he calls me punta. For those who don't know what the word punta means, that means bitch. Can you get your 5-year-old running around, punta, punta, but you can't whoop his ass because it's not his fault? So you whoop his mama's ass, and now you gotta go to court because they say you got the anger management problem? I'm the violent one. Now I gotta have mediation with my grandson. But to top it off, when I looked at the court papers, see, I came here instead of trying to get ready to go to court tomorrow. When I looked at the court papers, the judge's last name is Rodriguez. The same as my grandson. So I'm feeling some type of way, like if I go to court, I'm gonna be locked up because, you know, La Familia is gonna stick together. They're gonna lock me up, right? But the worst part about it is, it's my son, ladies and gentlemen, before I get off of here. My son is identifying as a Hispanic male. Now, you're probably wondering why. Just because you have kids with someone from a different race doesn't make you that race. So for some reason, he got in his head that he's a Mexican man. So he done told the family over there that his mother was Hispanic. You clearly can see I'm not Hispanic. No problem with that, though, right? So he invited me over to a quinceañera. The first mistake he made was he didn't tell me it was a quinceañera. So I came up there empty-handed, no gifts, nothing. I seen a whole bunch of pit bulls and chihuahuas running around, trash everywhere, music playing. I seen my grandson playing in a pool of mud. I went to try to grab his ass up out of that mud. 3 Mexican men grabbed me. Who are you? Who are you? I said, I'm his grandmother. They said, what? Recuando, Recuando. I said, Recuando? They was like, is this Francesca? I said, Francesca? My name ain't Francesca. My name is Shantae. I'm from Crenshaw Mafia. What the hell is going on here? My son said, Mom, stop. You're ruining everything. Just go along with it until we leave. I said, I'm not going along with this just so you can get some Mexican buns. I'm not doing it. Now he says I can't see my grandson because I don't get the culture. You see what I'm saying? I don't get the culture, ladies and gentlemen. See, before my grandson was born, they used to give us like tacos, gorditas, chalupas, things like that. But after my grandson was born, I noticed all they started giving us was stale taco chips and salsa when we would come over. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I told my son, you have to identify with what you are and be happy for what you are, right? So, Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen, we have to accept who we are and what we are. We didn't ask for this golden tan. We didn't ask for this nappy hair. We just asked to get a fair chance like you guys got a fair chance for coming to see someone black like me tonight. Thank y'all so much.
When you're single, coming off a relationship, you know, you can learn to find love in other places. My parents are immigrants. So there's not really much there. I'm not a doctor, so maybe most I can expect is a handshake around Christmas. But even then, it's still possible to find a little bit of love. So you can send yourself a message, like a text. It doesn't really matter what you say. But if you hit send and you lock your phone and you close your eyes really quickly, for a second it'll feel like you're getting a text message from someone that actually wants to talk to you. My therapist liked that one too. But I do miss my ex. I do miss my ex. I mostly miss her because her pension loaded. Filthy rich, if you will. One summer, her and I went to California to visit her parents for me to meet them for the first time. We stayed at their house for 2 days. And that was the biggest house I've ever been in. That house was so big that when I met her father for the first time, I accidentally called him Daddy. Yeah, the house was so big that for the 2 days I was there, I definitely would have gone for trouble. So it felt like the right thing to do. But yeah, being single has been a trip. I was talking to her on Tinder. 2 weeks later, she ghosted me, which sucks. One day you're talking to somebody, then all of a sudden you don't hear from them. It sucks, but ultimately it's pretty common these days. Now the only reason I still think about this girl in particular is because a few days into talking, she actually revealed to me that she was terminally ill. Yes. 6 months to live, at most. And I don't know if she realized it, but between myself and all the other guys she was talking to, she basically set up the world's saddest game of hot potato. Yeah, it's just a shitty position to be in. Maybe not as bad as hers, but because here I am left to wonder, did she lose interest, or did she really move on? Good question. Unfortunately, she did move on. Saw her on a date a week later with a guy with dreadlocks. But I'll say shout out to all my single people, because when you think about it, a single person is the most evolved form of a human. Technically, they represent like the peak of humanity. There's no longer any pressure to reproduce, attract mates. They're out of the food chain. They really are just chilling. I'm not saying single people are perfect, but maybe they deserve just a little bit more respect. Someday I'd like to see a single president, or a president that's single. We had a few close calls. Monica Lewinsky.
I'm from Grand Rapids. I've been living here my whole life. And as you can see, the food is amazing. From so many different cultures too. There's not many places in Michigan where you can go to a taco shop and know the food was made by actual Mexicans. And then GR, I know they're real because I can taste their sweat on the steak tacos. It really brings everything together for me, At least I can be very authentic, as authentic as you can get. And in our city, we also have a whole bunch of authentic Asian markets where you can go and get real German Shepherd for a good price. But you have to know what you're looking for, though, because they call it orange chicken. So, as long as you know that, you have some good news. But I just want to put it out there, I'm fat, but I'm athletic. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go for a 2-mile hike in the woods easy. But you best believe that after that, I'm going to hike my ass to get some food. So I've been trying to find a balance between my bad choices and my good habits these days. So I've been going for a lot more walks. But the crazy thing is, for the past few weeks, those walks have been ending up at Culver's. I think I need a new route or something, But what really made me want to lose weight is the other day I was driving and I was living my life. And I go over a speed bump. And my man boobs bounce up and down hard as fuck. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt violated. I was like, I could not believe that gravity just molested me like that, So something had to change. And I started going to the Culver's with no speed bumps in the parking lot. Gotta think smarter, not harder. But I'm biracial, part black and part white. And the white part of me is a type that talks to managers if my service isn't right. I'm telling you. I may look black on the outside, but let my burger be a little bit too pink in the middle. And I'll turn white faster than Michael Jackson. No bleach included, just all attitude like, do you know who my dad is? Levels away. But when I ask that question, I really want to know, because I don't know who my dad is, you know? That's the black part of me, you know? And it's crazy because my dad is here now. I found the nigga. Usually I say that joke with no remorse, but tonight I had to be like, you know, he is here. But the other day when I was filling out an application, they didn't even give me a biracial option for race. It was only Caucasian, Hispanic, Asian, and African American. So of course I had no choice. And I picked Caucasian, you know? Because it's 2025, and you are what you feel. And I had on this same Cabela hoodie, some dirty work boots, and I was listening to Taylor Swift on the way there. So I was there was nothing anybody could tell me, you know? Nothing at all, man. But I have a beautiful daughter. She just turned 6 a little while ago. Damn, my niggas ain't give a fuck. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But she told me that kids overreact to everything. Like the other day, I went around Meijer just getting some groceries, you know, and I already got the chitlins. So as I'm grabbing the pickled pig feet, I nudge her in the back of the head. Boom. She turns to me like the Terminator, then yells as loud as she can, "You just hit me. Are you serious right now?" I say, I'm sorry. She says, no, it's not okay. And instead of spidey senses, my black man senses started tingling. You know, I could feel people staring at me. So I look over my shoulder, and sure enough, the whole produce section is staring right at me. I even heard someone say, he hit that little girl like he was Ike Turner. Now, I'm too big and black to beat the Ike Turner allegations. Like, being biracial would not help me here. So I just cut my losses and run a self-checkout. But you know I'm big, so it's more of a desperate walk to self-checkout. You know what I'm saying? But I got there. Man, I already know we got weed smokers in here. Fucking sinful people, I can't believe it. No, the other day I smoked like fucking 3 joints in 10 minutes. My uncle looked at me and said, boy, you about 1 step away from becoming a crackhead. I looked my uncle dead in the face and I said, Uncle, I'm big as fuck. That 1 step is gonna take me a while. You know what I mean? Just because your skinny ass took 1 long ass step in front of the crack house doesn't mean I'm gonna have that same dream. I'm not even gonna comment. She's pointing at him like, oh, this nigga used to be skinny too. 1 step, it was right there. But you know, can't believe that nigga tried to gaslight me into smoking crack. Like, that's really outrageous. You know? What do you guys do when you see a homeless person, like on the side of the road asking for money? What do you do, miss? Oh, okay, all right. She almost admitted to a crime. She was like, If you look in the papers in 2005, you'll see what I do to homeless people when I see them. But the other day, Holmes guy caught me at the stop sign. And I tried to act like he was non-existent, but he came up to my window and asked if I had any money. But that's an easy question for me to answer. I just tell him the truth. No, I don't have any money. And usually they leave after that. But he asked me another question. He said, do you have any food? And I'm like, that's a weird one, but still easy. No. Like, I'm fat, but not carry snacks in the car type of thing. You know what I mean? That's a different level. Then this asshole looks me up and down and says, did you eat all of it? I couldn't believe my ears. I'm like, this bum is trying to roast me during Black History Month? What the fuck is happening, man? And the worst part about it was, he was right. I just left the Culvers with the speed bumps in the parking lot. And they ain't my fault. Thank you, everybody. My name is Michael Chandler. Have a great night.
I promised myself I'm only going to talk about 2 things while I'm up here, and that is the Super Bowl halftime show and Donald Trump. That's it. That's all I'm going to talk to y'all about. But I don't want to talk about the obvious shit that we all have seen shared. We've all been talking about stuff. We don't talk about obvious stuff. I personally, I'm going to get out there right now, I was a big fan of the Super Bowl halftime show. I was a big, make some noise if you enjoyed it. It's cool if you didn't. I hated when Creed was there, so I see it coming. I get it. It's not for everybody. I remember when 9/11 happened. Remember 9/11? Big deal. 9/11 happened, right? The next Super Bowl happened, and they said, we need some people that are really touch American souls. So we got U2. That was it. They just put U2 on stage, and we're like, heal America. But I remember a lot of people saying that Kendrick Lamar's show was the worst show of all time. Apparently, none of My white ass sister, I'm adopted, that's why my pants fit like this. My white ass sister, very aware of who I am as a person. My white ass sister had a New Kids on the Block bedspread shit back in 1992, and she made me sit through that bullshit. But then you know what I got the next year? Michael Jackson. Ooh, yeah, that's right. That's right. One of the best performances of all time. But I'm gonna say this right now, every year we get the same shit. I've been keeping track for 5 years on social media. Every year we get the same thing after the Super Bowl. It's always the same shit. It's always, this is the worst show of all time. It's half of everybody. The worst show of all time. If it's a black person, let me specify. It's only when it's a black person does it get split down the fucking middle. Because if it's a white entertainer, it's all, wasn't for me, but you know. You fucking know I'm right. No, goddamn no, I'm not wrong. Every post, yeah, I get it, it was for my kids, they loved it a lot. And what do they all say? I'm not kidding y'all, I had 3 different apps up while watching the halftime show, because I'm a fucking entertainer. Had 3 different apps up while I was watching the halftime show, and the first comments that all came through were from, I'm sorry, old white ladies, but it was from old white ladies, and they were very upset that I can't understand him. So they all said, I can't understand him. First of all, I've been to enough white people's houses to know all of y'all got captions on at all fucking times. So don't lie to me and tell me you didn't know what the fuck he was saying. You knew goddamn well what he was saying, you just didn't like it. He told you right at the beginning, the revolution would be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. And then everybody did exactly what he said y'all would do. It's hilarious every year. Clockwork, baby. I love that performance. It was fantastic. This man called another man a pedophile while smiling like a fucking Muppet character. Hey, Drake. Damn, man. I said that shit to my grocer the other day, man. Walked out the grocery store, very happy with my purchases, and they're like, have a good day. And I was like, hey, Drake. Walked home, I was happy. There's a lot of transparency right now happening on social media. Here's the transparency. If you have a friend on social media who said they hated the halftime show, guess what? You just found out who you know who doesn't have any black friends. That's what you found out. A lot of y'all had a hard time going to grips with that, probably. That's cool. We had Sam Jackson out there. I'm gonna help educate some of y'all white people tonight. Do you know why Sam Jackson was out there? See, the black people, we already know why he was out there. Sam Jackson is, remember earlier, Terrence Time was talking about a house nigga? For anybody who doesn't know what that term actually means, I guess you haven't seen Django Unchained. A house is the black dude who lived in the slave house who had gained favor with his master. So he was essentially a shitty white. So we had Sam Jackson out there with his American game, all that bullshit, showmanship, bravado. We want you. I love that. And my favorite part was everybody who was racist as shit, who was like, I enjoyed the Sam Jackson part. You shouldn't have liked that part. That was the worst. That's the part that we were like, you shouldn't like this guy because he hates niggas. Not Sam Jackson, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. The character he plays. Nobody's talking about the important shit that happened at that performance. The important shit. I'm not talking about Kendrick wearing your mom's favorite jeans. I ain't talking about that. It's not the important shit. That motherfucker ran for 281 yards during his performance, y'all. That's a real stat. That motherfucker walked back and forth across that field while rapping with no backtrack for 281 yards. For comparison, the Kansas City Chiefs had 235 total yards for the fucking game they get paid millions for. But Kendrick had the worst performance of all time. You know what made me more mad about the Super Bowl? Fuck that, I'm a Lions fan. I'm 38 years old, I've been a Lions fan my whole fucking life, period. You know what made me the most mad about the Super Bowl? That I had a realization while watching the Super Bowl when they cut to Taylor Swift cheering on her boyfriend. By the way, if you shit on Taylor Swift cheering on her fucking boyfriend, you've never been in love and you probably should get some counseling because she's just a good girlfriend, yeah? That's all she is. She just shows up, supports her man, and everyone in here goes, boo! they cut to Taylor Swift for the second time, and I thought to myself, you know what pisses me the fuck off? That Taylor Swift fans know what it's like to win 2 Super Bowls! There's no punchline, I just want to get off my chest that I hate the facts. Taylor Swift fans know what it's like to be winners. And I'm a Lions fan. I was really disappointed by one thing about the Super Bowl halftime show. One thing, and one thing only. Like I said, I loved it. One thing pissed me off. I, much like you all, am very disappointed that I never got to see Trump dance to Not Like Us. Bro, I'm gonna be real. I was praying for one camera cut, just one, where it's just like, and he's just like,
They are not like us, it's true, very true. I've looked, I've tried to get him arrested.
Anybody who sees me do comedy before knows that I do not like talking about politics or taking sides or anything, but I finally have a side to take on politics in my stand-up career, and it's against Donald Trump for one specific reason. Just one, not the reason any of you think it is. Here's why I hate Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the first president in U.S. history to sign executive orders with a black marker. There's a fucking company that exists that their only job is to make pens for U.S. presidents. They're a real goddamn company. I know because I looked them up 5 hours ago. I do research for my jokes. They have 9 pens on their website. The cheapest one is $75. The most expensive is $2.99. Every president since fucking 1939 has used one of these pens, except Donald Trump, who uses a big-ass fucking marker. Like, that's our president. This nigga uses a 12-year-old writing utensil to sign executive orders. What? Like, I genuinely, wish that all of his executive order packages come in giant plastic wrapped containers that say Trump's Big Book of Orders. And they all come with a free pack of markers. Like he said, this man is infringing on our civil liberties in dead silent rooms in the White House, and it's punctuated by
Look at that, all in the lines.
good jokes, right?